The forest woke slowly, as if it liked to stretch before letting the night begin. Tall trees leaned toward one another, their leaves whispering secrets that only the moon seemed to understand. Fireflies blinked on and off like tiny stars that had fallen from the sky and forgotten how to return. The air smelled of pine, damp earth, and quiet magic. Somewhere deep inside this dark forest walked a girl named Vasilisa the Brave. Vasilisa is not called brave because she never felt fear. In truth, fear often tapped her shoulder and whispered questions into her ear. It asked what might jump from the shadows, or what strange eyes might be watching. Tonight, fear felt especially close, curling inside her chest as the path beneath her boots twisted and curled like a sleepy snake. But Vasilisa had learned something important long ago. Fear did not mean stop. Fear meant listen, breathe, and keep going. She held this lesson close, just like the small glowing lamp in her hand. The lamp was no ordinary lamp. Its glass shimmered with a soft green light, warm and gentle, like a friendly fire that did not burn. The light moved as if it were alive, glowing brighter when Vasilisa felt unsure and calming when her heart steadied. Long ago, someone who believed in her had placed it in her hands and said, "This light will guide you, but only if you trust it." That belief still lived inside the glow, and wherever the light touched, shadows softened, and the forest felt a little less lonely. Vasilisa adjusted the red scarf around her neck and took another careful step forward. Her boots made quiet sounds against the mossy ground, as though the earth itself was listening. She hummed a gentle tune under her breath, not because she was happy, but because it helped her feel steady. The tune bounced lightly between the trees, and for a moment the forest hummed back. Joining her song like a shy friend, she passed mushrooms, shaped like tiny umbrellas, glowing faintly in shades of blue and gold. A sleepy owl blinked at her from a branch and tilted its head, as if wishing her luck. Vasilisa smiled at these small signs. The forest could be frightening, but it could also be kind. Then the wind changed. It rushed past her ears with a playful whoosh, tugging at her scarf, then slowed, then stopped altogether. The fireflies froze in mid-blink, their lights hanging like dots painted in the air. Even the trees seemed to hold their breath. Vasilisa felt a small shiver crawl up her back, and her humming faded away. She stopped walking and lifted her lamp higher. From behind a crooked oak came the sound of muttering, "Oh, these old knees," grumbled a scratchy voice. "Why does running always happen at night?" Vasilisa's heart skipped. She knew that voice, even though she had hoped she never would. Baba Yaga. The old witch stepped into the glow of the lamp. Her gray hair puffed in all directions, as if it had argued with the wind and lost. Her long dress dragged along the ground, stitched with patches of different colors that didn't match at all. Her shoes were mismatched too, and one squeaked when she walked. Her eyes glowed like curious candles, sharp, bright, and not entirely unkind. Well, Baba Yaga said, leaning on her crooked staff. "If it isn't the little lantern girl wandering where she shouldn't." Vasilisa took a step back. Her hands trembled, but she did not drop the lamp. She held it tighter, feeling its warmth steady her fingers. "I'm just passing through," she said softly. "I don't want trouble." Baba Yaga smiled, and her smile was like a creaky door opening in an old house. "Trouble finds everyone in this forest," she replied, "especially those who shine." Before Vasilisa could say another word, Baba Yaga tapped her staff on the ground. The sound echoed deeper than it should have, and the trees groaned and shifted. Their branches bent and tangled together, blocking the path behind the girl. Vasilisa gasped. Fear fluttered inside her chest like a trapped bird, beating its wings wildly. Her thoughts raced, but her feet moved faster. She turned and ran. Her boots pounded softly against the earth as she dodged roots and hopped over fallen branches. The lamp bounced in her hand, its green light stretching ahead like a promise, showing her where to step. Behind her, Baba Yaga followed not fast, steady her footsteps, tapping and scraping, never too far away. "Slow down," Baba Yaga called, sounding more annoyed than angry. "My legs weren't made for races." Despite herself, Vasilisa almost laughed. Almost, but fear pushed her onward. The forest seemed to twist and turn more now, paths splitting and reconnecting. Trees leaning in close, as if watching a game unfold as she ran. Vasilisa remembered the words she had been taught when she was very young. When the world feels dark, look for the light you carry. She glanced down at the lamp, and it pulsed gently, as if listening to her thoughts. The light showed her stepping stones across a shallow stream, each one glowing just long enough for her foot to land. It revealed a safe place to duck beneath a low branch just before Baba Yaga bumped her hat against it. "Oof," the witch muttered. "Rude tree." Vasilisa felt her fear loosen its grip just a little. The forest was scary, yes, but it was also alive, and it seemed to be helping her. She heard owls hooting encouragement, maybe laughing, and saw mushrooms, lighting her path like polite guests showing her the door. Still, her legs began to ache. Her breath came faster, puffing white in the cool air. She wondered how long she could keep going. Baba Yaga noticed too. "You're strong," she called out, sounding surprised. "Most children trip by now." Vasilisa did not answer. She focused on each step, each breath, each moment. She did not run to escape forever. She ran to find her way. At last, the path opened into a wider trail. Moonlight spilled down like silver paint, washing the ground in calm brightness. Vasilisa slowed, her chest rising and falling. She could feel Baba Yaga close now. The soft tap of the staff just behind her. Then something strange happened. The lamp in Vasilisa's hand glowed brighter than ever before. Not sharp or blinding, but full and warm, like a hug made of light. The shadows pulled back. The forest sighed as if relieved. Vasilisa stopped running. She turned slowly. Her heart still racing, but her feet steady on the ground. Baba Yaga stopped too, clearly surprised. "Well," the witch said, blinking. "That's new." Vasilisa held the lamp between them. Its glow reflected in Baba Yaga's eyes, and for a moment, the old witch looked less frightening and more tired. "Just old, just curious. I'm afraid," Vasilisa said honestly, "but I'm still going forward." The forest listened. Even the wind paused. Baba Yaga studied the girl for a long moment, then huffed. "Brave and polite," she muttered. "That's rare." She straightened her back and tapped her staff once more, but this time the trees relaxed, opening the path instead of blocking it. "Go on then," Baba Yaga said. "The forest has had its fun for now." Vasilisa nodded, her eyes shining not just from the lamp, but from something inside her too. She turned and walked onward, not running this time. The forest felt calmer as she passed, the fireflies blinking happily again. Behind her, Baba Yaga watched until the green light faded into the distance. She shook her head and muttered, "Such a strange child." And deep in the dark forest, the night smiled, knowing this was only the beginning of Vasili's journey. The path narrowed again, leading Vasilisa toward a bridge made of twisting vines and glowing flowers. The bridge curved gently, like it had grown there naturally rather than being built by hands. Each vine was thick and strong, woven together with care, as if the forest itself had braided them long ago. The flowers clinging to the vines shimmered softly, opening and closing like they were breathing in slow, peaceful rhythms. Their light reflected in tiny sparks along the wood, making the bridge look alive. Beneath the bridge flowed a slow, shimmering stream. The water was clear but deep, moving quietly, carrying bits of moonlight on its surface. It hummed softly, not with sound exactly, but with feeling. Like it was thinking about old stories it had carried for many years. Stories of travelers, secrets, wishes, and brave steps taken in the dark. Vasilisa stopped at the edge of the bridge. Her fingers tightened around the handle of her lamp, and she felt her heart beat slow just a little as she took a deep breath. The forest seemed to wait with her. Bridges always made her nervous. They felt like questions waiting for answers. Once you stepped onto one, there was no turning back without admitting fear. You could not stand in the middle forever. You had to choose forward or return. She swallowed and listened to her breathing. She looked down at the water below. Tiny lights moved beneath the surface, drifting like sleepy fish made of moonlight. They swirled gently, bumping into one another as if playing a quiet game. The sound of the stream was soft and calm, not rushing or loud, and somehow that made her feel braver. The water was not in a hurry. It trusted its path. One step at a time, Vasilisa whispered to herself. She placed her foot onto the bridge. The vines held firm, tightening gently under her boots, almost like a reassuring squeeze. The bridge did not creak or shake. Instead, it felt steady, patient. She took another step, then another, feeling her confidence grow with each careful movement. The lamp in her hand glowed steadily, its light warm against her fingers. Halfway across, flowers along the bridge began to glow brighter. Their colors slowly changed from green to soft pinks and gentle blues, blending together like a painted sky at dawn. The colors flowed along the vines, moving like a soft painting coming to life. The lamp responded, shining warmly, as if recognizing a friend. Vasilisa felt something inside her chest bloom with relief, like a tight knot finally loosening. Her shoulders relaxed, and a small smile touched her lips. "Thank you," she whispered. Not sure if she was speaking to the bridge, the lamp, or the forest itself. Suddenly, a familiar voice drifted from behind her. "Well now," Baba Yaga said, sounding less grumpy and more curious than before. "You made it farther than I expected." Vasilisa froze for just a moment. Her heart skipped, then settled again. Slowly, carefully, she turned her head. Baba Yaga stood at the edge of the bridge, leaning on her crooked staff. Her wild gray hair fluttered slightly in the night breeze, and her mismatched shoes peeked out from beneath her long patched dress. She did not step closer. She did not raise her staff. She simply watched. Her sharp eyes were thoughtful now, not threatening. "I thought you said the forest had its fun," Vasilisa said gently. Her voice did not shake, though her heart still beat fast. Baba Yaga shrugged, one shoulder lifting higher than the other. "I never said I was done watching." Vasilisa considered this. She felt no urge to run. Her feet stayed planted, steady on the glowing bridge. Instead, she lifted her lamp slightly, letting its warm green glow reach the witch without pushing back the darkness around her. The light did not chase Baba Yaga away. It did not demand space. It simply rested between them, calm and open. "I'm almost home," Vasilisa said softly. "I just need to finish walking." Baba Yaga's eyes flickered, reflecting the lamp's glow. The light danced across her face, softening her sharp lines and making her look older, quieter and strangely thoughtful. "Home, Baba Yaga," repeated slowly, tasting the word like it was something rare. "That's a powerful place." For a moment, neither of them spoke. The bridge hummed softly beneath Vasilisa's feet, and the stream below seemed to listen carefully. Fireflies drifted lazily around them, blinking in and out of the quiet, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Finally, Baba Yaga cleared her throat. "You didn't shout. You didn't beg. You didn't try to trick me," she said. "Most do at least one of those." Vasilisa smiled shyly and looked down at her boots. "I was scared," she admitted honestly. "But I listened to my light." Baba Yaga snorted, though it sounded less sharp than before. "Lights are troublesome things," she muttered. "They remind you of things you've forgotten." She tapped her staff once on the ground. The sound echoed softly, gentle and round, like a goodbye instead of a warning. Then she stepped back into the shadows. The trees parted politely for her, bending their branches just enough to let her pass. In a few quiet steps, Baba Yaga disappeared without another word. Vasilisa stood still for a moment, letting the silence settle around her. The bridge hummed once more, steady and kind. She took a deep breath, then turned and crossed the rest of the bridge. The flowers dimmed gently behind her, as if satisfied with their work. She stepped onto the far side, and the path widened once more, becoming smooth and welcoming beneath her boots. Ahead of her rose a gentle hill. At its top glowed a small village, warm and golden, with windows lit like friendly eyes watching the night. Smoke curled lazily from chimneys, and the smell of fresh bread and warm soup drifted through the air. The sight made Vasilisa's chest ache in the best way. Tears filled her eyes. Not from fear this time, but from relief. She walked downhill slowly, savoring each step. As she drew closer, villagers noticed her and waved. An old baker with flour-dusted hands paused in his doorway and smiled wide. A child with starry eyes pointed at the glowing lamp and gasped in delight. A sleepy cat stretched on a windowsill and blinked at her approvingly. No one asked where she had been or why her dress was dusty. No one looked afraid of the forest clinging softly to her clothes. They simply welcomed her, as if they had always known she would return. Vasilisa reached a small wooden house near the edge of the village. Its door was painted blue, a little chipped, and wind chimes made from shells and beads sang softly as she stepped inside. The warmth wrapped around her like a blanket fresh from the sun. She placed the lamp on the table. Its glow softened further, settling into a peaceful shimmer. No longer guiding or warning, just resting. Vasilisa sat beside it, her shoulders relaxing at last. She felt tired, but it was a good tired. The kind that comes after finishing something important outside. The forest watched quietly. Far beyond the village, Baba Yaga stood at the edge of the trees. She leaned on her staff and stared toward the warm lights flickering in the distance. For once, she did not scowl. Instead, she sighed, long and slow. "Brave little lantern girl," she muttered. "The forest is changing." She turned and walked deeper into the woods, her steps slower now, more thoughtful. The trees closed gently behind her, whispering softly as she passed. Back in her home, Vasilisa curled up near the window. The lamp dimmed slightly, as if going to sleep. She rested her hand on it and whispered, "Thank you." The lamp flickered once warmly as the night stretched on. The moon smiled down on the forest, the village, and the brave girl who had walked through fear without letting it stop her. The trees rustled happily, the fireflies danced again, and somewhere deep in the woods, even Baba Yaga allowed herself a small, crooked smile, and so the story settled into quiet, knowing that courage does not always roar. Sometimes it simply walks forward, carrying a light.